Scissors to suppress evil, cut the yin and yang. The scissors dropped sharply, thrusting into Grandpa Wang's body. Zhang Jiutian sought to sever the resentment and subdue him. At the same time, Zhang Jiutian uttered another incantation, attempting to use the four symbols array to assist the scissors in suppressing and exterminating the spirit. But suddenly, the array failed. My burning of the peachwood nails had sabotaged it, leaving him powerless. You brat, ruining my array. So sneaky. Zhang Jiutian shot me an angry glare. I smirked darkly. Strike first or suffer later. I don't play by your morals, so don't try to guilt-trip me with yours. You? Zhang Jiutian's furious face turned pale. Without the array, the scissors were useless against a red-bodied vengeful spirit, let alone to subdue it. Grandpa Wang's ghostly aura exploded, his whole body trembling as resentment surged like tidal waves. The scissors shattered instantly into fragments scattering everywhere. His eyes brimmed with murderous intent, his face twisted in a grotesque snarl, his skin shriveled and cracked, veins bulging, claws sharp as blades. He lunged at Zhang Jiutian like a raging dragon, the whirlwind swirling fiercely. Opening his mouth wide, he spewed out repulsive black blood, his teeth were as sharp as rows of steel needles. Zhang Jiutian was doomed in an instant. Frantically, Zhang Jiutian brandished 9 yellow talismans, igniting their flames skyward, trying to use the blazing charms to engulf the red-bodied vengeful spirit, while the 7-star sword descended upon Grandpa Wang. But the talismans proved useless, sparking only briefly on the ghost's surface before being consumed and reduced to ashes. Grandpa Wang gaped, ignoring the sword entirely, biting through the 7-star sword with one snap. Damn, this thing's fierce. Zhang Jiutian was stunned, as if never having faced such a savage ghost. He quickly dropped the sword to save himself. Retreating 3.5 steps, he crossed his hands and rapidly formed hand seals, chanting spells. Few steps quickened toward Yangming, charms invoke arrays to subdue evil spirits. Li, Ji, Hua, Tian, Zun, Shang, Quan. As the incantation completed, 7 rays of golden light suddenly shone, enveloping the entire house like 7 massive mountains pressing down on Grandpa Wang. This was the Yugang 7-yin array activated, an immensely powerful formation and Zhang Jiutian's ultimate move. Though confident in his success, my face bore only a cold smile. If that's the case, I must use the 2nd-level ghost curse. I regret crushing your livelihood, but where goodness rises, evil took a step higher. If you can't defeat me, then we're just on opposite sides. Seeing Grandpa Wang subdued by the array, Zhang Jiutian sneered, no matter how strong a ghost, it can never break my formation. Prepare to perish. I'll reduce you to ashes with no hope of rebirth. I cast the 2nd-level ghost curse, nearly exhausting most of my magical power. Grandpa Wang's resentment intensified, his ghostly form turning a dark purple-red. His hatred surged to the sky. Furniture shattered, doors and windows crumbled to dust, chilling winds howled, and piercing ghost wails shattered the heavens. The floor and ceiling cracked open, the atmosphere grew dark and terrifying. Grandpa Wang's resentment climaxed, his purple-red ghostly body exuded terrifying power. With a thunderous roar, the talismans shattered. The Yugang 7-yin array collapsed, the shackles binding him vanished instantly. He was free. A raging ghost on the loose always means bloodshed. The terrifying ghost aura crashed like massive waves, the ghastly face was hideously distorted. Wang Tao and Wang Ting's legs went weak with fear. They'd never seen a more terrifying vengeful spirit in their lives, not even the cursed Samara from the movies compared. This is segment 83 of 144. Please find the translated content below, maintaining the original paragraph structure, line breaks, and overall layout. Zhang Jiutian bit his finger, letting blood drip onto the Bagua plate. The plate emitted a red glow, greatly enhancing the power of his spell. Grandpa Wang Shui shouted, "Evil spirit descends," and stretched out his terrifying ghostly claws to attack Zhang Jiutian. Zhang Jiutian swung the Bagua plate to slash, but Grandpa Wang's ghostly shadows darted about, evading the strike. Amid the piercing cold wind, a ghostly claw suddenly grabbed Zhang Jiutian by the neck, slamming him forcefully onto the floor. Bang! A loud noise echoed as the floor cracked into the shape of a human. Zhang Jiutian coughed up blood repeatedly, the Bagua plate slipping from his hand and flying away. Blazing fire shakes the universe, divine spirits empower my magic. Heaven and earth boundless, urgent as the law's decree. Zhang Jiutian knew he couldn't rest. He immediately chanted the incantation, and several golden talismans shot toward Grandpa Wang Shui. The golden talismans struck the dark purple ghostly form, sparks flying, sending Grandpa Wang Shui flying back. After crashing into the wall, his limbs twisted like a spider's. Though strong, the talismans didn't harm him in the slightest. They burned to ashes and fell. Grandpa Wang's resentment only grew stronger, his face began to rot, his aura turning even more terrifying. The wall was corroded, the chilling wind felt like thousands of needles piercing skin. A heavy feeling settled in Zhang Zhoutian's heart. It's over. This ghost is getting stronger and stronger. Unless my master intervenes, I can't hold on. He had exhausted all his spells and tools. The Bagua plate, yellow talismans, and golden talismans were all useless. His only option was to flee. He understood that dying meant all the money spent would be for nothing. Go! Hurry and leave! Zhang Zhoutian urgently ordered Wang Tao and Wang Ting to escape. He could only protect them and couldn't fight this evil spirit. His earlier confidence vanished completely. He fled like a defeated soldier. To think a six-coin Taoist priest could end up like this, absurd yet helpless, limited in his skills. Wang Tao and Wang Ting looked at each other, faces full of confusion and blame. We paid you to kill the ghost, but you're making us run away? Aren't you the strongest priest's apprentice? You can't even handle a ghost dead for days? Now you want more money? Zhang Zhoutian cursed them silently for their stupidity. With such useless people, not even a deity could help. Most of Grandpa Wang Shui's resentment stemmed from them. If they left, the ghost's energy would lessen. Though it wouldn't destroy the spirit, at least their lives could be saved. Yet they blamed Zhang Zhoutian for being powerless. Give me my money back. I'm done. Whoever wants this job can take it. Zhang Zhoutian couldn't take it anymore and gave up outright. It was a wise choice. Staying any longer meant death. He didn't care about ruining his reputation anyway. Wang Tao and Wang Ting were doomed. Grandpa Wang Shui had completely lost control, and no one would blame him. He left a check behind, broke a window, and escaped cleanly in one swift motion. This priest shows potential, working for survival, not money, and giving himself a way out. It's not that he was beaten, the clients were just impossible. He didn't want the job. He preserved his life while saving face. Otherwise, death was guaranteed. All the posturing? Best to pretend it never happened. Zhang Zhoutian, come back. Master Zhang, please don't leave us. Wang Tao shouted desperately, but it was useless. Zhang Zhoutian had already disappeared. They could only stay and wait for death. He. Grandpa Wang Shui laughed ominously, his bloodshot eyes fixed on them. Saliva dripped down. He wanted to devour them alive, fully transformed into a vicious ghost with no reason left. Killing, resentment, madness. Wang Tao and Wang Ting trembled in terror. That horrific vengeful spirit stared fixedly at them, drooling and letting out eerie laughter. They immediately dropped to their knees and begged, Grandpa, we were wrong, please spare us. But Grandpa Wang Shui had lost his mind, fully becoming a ruthless spirit filled with hatred, focusing only on the siblings. He didn't eat their flesh but drank their blood, venting his fury. If Wang Tao hadn't brought death upon himself, Zhang Zhoutian wouldn't have escaped so easily just now. If Zhang Zhoutian were still here, even if defeated, he wouldn't let Wang Tao and Wang Ting be eaten so easily. Fighting to the last breath would at least leave a chance. But now, alone and helpless against the vengeful spirit, the siblings could only await death. Pleading was pointless. Grandpa Wang Shui simply wouldn't listen. Wah! The spirit let out a chilling howl and lunged forward. Its sharp claws, like steel blades, easily tore through their throats. I could already picture the blood splattering everywhere. Yet I didn't feel sympathy, only a cold smile, as I awaited the inevitable scene. I just wanted to think about how to prove to the police we had nothing to do with their deaths. That would take some mental effort. Wang Tao and Wang Ting were powerless against the vengeful ghost. Ordinary people facing such an evil spirit were like chickens with broken wings. Soon, their screams shredded the air as the ghost tore them apart alive, skinning them. It was my first time witnessing a spirit devour living humans so brutally. The scene was horrifying. Before long only bones and chunks of flesh remained. This time, Wang Shui didn't help them either. Watching the siblings die painfully, he actually sighed in relief. Now no one else would harm his grandpa. With the two dead, Grandpa Wang Shui's resentment vanished completely. The ghostly curse lifted on its own, the murderous aura dissipated, and he returned to his original calm spirit form. I breathed a sigh of relief. The ghost curse had severe side effects. If a vengeful spirit stayed in the mortal world without a clear mind, it would go on a murderous rampage. That would make me the cause of unintended harm despite good intentions. Fortunately, this time the outcome was positive. Grandpa, I'm so glad you're alright, Wang Shui said tearfully, hugging her grandfather tightly. At first, when Grandpa Wang Shui appeared, he was unwilling to get close to Wang Shui. Ghosts are considered ominous beings, carrying 18 calamities such as poverty, sorrow, decay, and disaster. Those possessed by ghosts would either fall seriously ill, go insane, or die suddenly. He didn't want these misfortunes to affect Wang Shui, so he kept his distance. But Wang Shui's kindness and filial piety touched him deeply, making it impossible for him to resist embracing her. This is the power of family and love. It's getting late, I have to send your grandfather to reincarnate, I said after calculating the time. It was the perfect moment. Reincarnation depends on the precise timing. If you miss the window, you have to wait for the next opportunity. This is where the phrase rushing to reincarnate comes from. It's like snatching a chance that might be lost to others. The grandfather and granddaughter embraced once more. I performed the ritual, reluctant to part ways. After all, the living and the dead take different paths, and in all love, only familial love points toward farewell. I successfully helped Grandpa Yang Sha pass on and guided him to reincarnation. Yang Sha wept like a flood, but some people must leave, no one can hold back separation. The deceased have passed, all we can do is hope she finds comfort in her grief. After the death, the police still came, but in the end, we were all cleared of any wrongdoing. There was no evidence pointing to murder, and the house had surveillance footage that left the officers silent. They couldn't explain how Wang Tao and Wang Ting disappeared since they still didn't believe in ghosts. We underwent psychological evaluations and were ruled free of mental illness, so we were released. This case wasn't particularly dangerous, so I charged Wang Shui a modest fee of 20,000 yuan. She received the entire inheritance, so the amount was negligible to her, and she paid without hesitation. With this money in hand, I finally breathed easier. I promised myself not to waste any more on the nine-tailed fox. Online shopping is a bottomless pit. If I kept buying, I'd be broke and couldn't even afford instant noodles. Besides, old Chen's money hasn't come through yet. Back at the old house, I slumped onto the sofa, utterly exhausted. I had only used one spell and performed a simple ritual afterward. I shouldn't have been so drained, but I genuinely felt hollowed out. That had to be the curse's side effect. The ghost curse is a kind of dark magic, and its side effects are obvious. It can sap the caster's energy, leaving them utterly fatigued. The books don't mention this, so it seems the Secrets of Heaven manual is even more complex. I'll have to use such spells sparingly in the future. They're prone to backlash, and some vengeful spirits even devour their casters. If it weren't to protect Grandpa Wang Shui, I wouldn't have used it. After resting for a while, I went to check on Qingzi. She was alright, still tied up by me, which gave me some peace of mind. My eyes were barely open, and I immediately collapsed into a deep sleep. The curse's aftereffects were intense. I felt nothing during the ritual but came home utterly wiped out. Half asleep in the middle of the night, I suddenly sensed some vibration but was too tired to care. Then urgent knocking woke me up. I checked the time, 4 a.m. I almost cursed. Who was so brainless to disturb me at this hour? That's when I noticed the thing vibrating was a copper coin. Here it comes again, something valuable delivered to me. It was the 6th copper coin, the one Lin Xiang had given me, which had been dormant for so long. Unexpectedly, it manifested now. Wide awake, the fatigue of the previous hours had vanished. I grabbed the coin and went to open the door. The person standing there startled me, a middle-aged woman pushing a baby stroller. She looked pale, wore a black headscarf, and dressed oddly, like someone attending a funeral. The woman herself wasn't strange, the oddity was what was in the stroller. I say oddity because it wasn't a baby at all. Inside was a black cat dressed in baby clothes and a black hat. It looked normal enough, lots of people dress their pets these days. But the weird part was that the cat had a human face, extremely terrifying. The cat held a pacifier in its mouth, and it could talk. "Where's the coin? Let me see it," the cat's eerie voice came, sounding like a baby's. It stretched out a paw, demanding the coin. Seeing this at such an hour sent chills down my spine. The cat sucked the pacifier, eyes fixed on me. That expressionless human face was becoming more and more frightening. When I was a kid, I was most afraid of cats meowing, especially in spring when they sound like children. It's both eerie and piercing. Rural folks all know black cats bring bad luck. Stepping on a coffin can cause a corpse to reanimate. The most famous tale is the cat-faced old lady. In 1995, legend has it that an old woman died returning from shopping. A cat happened to walk by, and mysteriously, the woman reanimated with half her face turned into a cat's, wandering around and terrifying everyone. Local customs forbid livestock from approaching the deceased, fearing that the corpse might use the animal's yin energy to reanimate. Especially cats, they attract yin energy and can cause the body to turn evil. The infamous cat-faced old lady incident was even turned into a horror movie later on. Now, recalling that event and looking at this cat-faced baby before me, I couldn't help but get goosebumps all over, a chill running down my spine. The woman pushing the stroller didn't make a sound, only flashing me a big, yellow toothy grin. The wide-open mouth looked pretty strange. "Let me see the coin," the cat baby said in a childish voice, pulling me back from my terror. Okay, I nodded dumbfounded, hastily retrieving the coin to show it. The cat baby nodded, Yes, that's the one. Grandpa asked me to give you something. Then it pulled out a red, baby-shaped blood jade from the stroller and handed it to me. The jade wasn't white or green but bright red like fresh blood, shaped like an infant, about the size of a regular jade pendant. Inside the jade, something seemed to move. When I looked closely, the outline disappeared in an instant, like a shadow of a child. What is this jade? I asked, taking it. The cat baby sucked on its pacifier, then said in a childish tone, "This is a spirit infant blood jade. It can save your life by blocking one calamity, but it only works once, it will break on its own afterward." I immediately understood, the spirit infant resides inside this jade, and in critical moments, it can protect me from disaster. A spirit infant is a child who died a natural death and guards with pure kindness, while most little ghosts die unnaturally and easily become vengeful spirits, potentially harming their masters. Spirit infants don't require constant tending, just occasionally burning incense and joss paper with sincere heart is enough for their protection. But spirit infants are rare, most children die from accidents, so spirit infant blood jades are extremely scarce. This jade is blood jade, its red color like blood, the rarest and most ominous kind. Jade has its lore, good jade nurtures its wearer, while cursed jade nourishes itself by sucking wearer's vitality, causing misfortune and even death. Buying jade requires caution, don't blindly trust merchants' praise. It's best to have someone knowledgeable with you, or you could suffer losses or worse. I once heard about a wealthy man who wore a blood jade. In 3 years he lost 50 pounds, his spirit deteriorated, luck plummeted, and his wife ran off with someone else. A fortune teller said his fate wasn't strong enough and wearing blood jade was courting death. Removing the jade wasn't easy, he had to worship it for 3 years before discarding it. Only after following this ritual did he recover his health. Although blood jade is sinister, this spirit infant blood jade is different. It houses a kind spirit infant, the soul of the jade, perfectly guarding me. Truly a treasure left by Grandpa, arranged flawlessly. This jade won't bring bad luck at all, its powers are remarkably strong. You might think shielding from disaster sounds common, nothing special, but in reality, it's far more potent. Put simply, wearing this jade means I effectively have 2 lives. It can shield me from one fatal threat. No matter how powerful the magic tool or precious the treasure, having an extra life is unbeatable. This spirit infant blood jade can sacrifice itself to save me once, a significant meaning. Without hesitation, I treasured it most among all these gifts. Just as I looked up to express thanks, the cat baby suddenly vanished without a trace. I was momentarily stunned. What the hell is that thing? Human, ghost, or demon? How did Grandpa know so many strange things? I scratched my head and finally closed the door tightly. I started looking forward to the next coin. Wan Shua's copper coin symbolized filial piety. I had no idea what it would bring or when it would activate. Only time would tell. It was still early, so I went back to sleep, completely exhausted, until noon. But I didn't wake naturally. Instead, the police knocking on the door disturbed me. Lin Ni answered but couldn't speak, just barked woof woof woof, pretending to be mute. Her face looked troubled. She clearly understood why the police had come, because a foreign woman, Xingzi, was locked inside my room. I hastily got up, but the police had already stormed into the old house and begun searching. My heart sank. Old Master Chen actually reported it to the police. He didn't dare come in person to rescue Xingzi but wanted the police to put me in jail and deal with his enemy. I glanced at Xingzi. She was awake and reacted quickly, struggling and yelling as soon as she saw the officers. I wanted to restrain her, but time ran out. The police broke in. Xingzi's face showed a smug expression, seemingly relieved she was saved, while I was destined to fall into an abyss. But strangely, the police couldn't see Xingzi at all. No matter how thoroughly they searched, they found nothing. I sighed, realizing it was a nine-tailed fox's illusion, the perfect concealment hiding Xingzi from outsiders. Xingzi screamed in despair, but only I could hear her. This time, I smiled, more triumphant than her, curling my lips into a sinister smirk. In her country, witches don't differentiate good from evil, they just work for whoever pays. With no sympathy, freeing her would only bring trouble. Besides, she was old Master Chen's ally. This is excerpt 86 of 144. Please process the following text according to your logic, maintaining the original paragraph structure, line breaks, and overall layout. Return only the processed result. I stepped outside. The nine-tailed fox was sitting on the sofa, sipping tea, completely invisible to the police, like air itself. Her illusion was far more sophisticated than the butlers back in the day. The cops wandered around the house like they were trapped in a haunted maze. With nothing found, the police just shook their heads, checked my ID, took me back to the station for questioning, and eventually let me go. Now, talk about evidence, no proof, no way anyone can pin this on me. With a fox spirit watching over me, Trying to hurt me is like climbing a mountain barefoot. Old man Chen first tried to kill me, and after failing, turned around and falsely accused me. That won't happen. Losing Qingzi and my daughter is the price he has to pay. If it were me, I would have been wiped out by the Chen family long ago. As a player in this game, I have to be ruthless and cautious with every step, or it's game over. My opponent isn't some rookie. Old man Chen is rich and powerful, the local kingpin. If I give an inch, he'll take a mile, maybe even my life. My second uncle once advised me to stay out of trouble, but I refuse to be bullied. Anyone who tries to step on me had better have the skills to back it up. Outside the station, a luxury car stopped right in front of me. The window rolled down, revealing a face filled with disgust. It was old man Chen himself. He was clenching a cigar, eyes glaring at me with cold fury and confusion. He didn't understand how I got out so fast. Isn't imprisoning a foreigner a serious crime? Shouldn't I have been taken to court? You brat, a sly fox with many holes to hide in. I underestimated you. He spat out a puff of thick smoke, his voice icy. He thought I'd hidden Qingzi somewhere, which was why the police couldn't find her. Little did he know, she was right in my house. Leaning on the car window with both hands, I looked back coldly. Old man Chen, you're 100 years too early trying to play me. But your daughter lost everything. Ha, you're neither a good guest nor a good father. Ha ha. Bastard. Old man Chen exploded in rage, raising his hand to hit me. Despite his pampered life, he was powerless like a child. I grabbed his hand, pinning it to the window, and slapped him more than 30 times with my other hand. Within seconds, his face swelled like a pig's head, blood dripping from his mouth. Old man Chen, no need to thank me, consider this a gift. You owe me billions, and if you don't pay up, just wait and see. Dare to fight me? Ha ha ha. My cold laugh pierced his heart. He hated me with a passion and wouldn't pay unless I crushed him completely. He wanted me dead, and dead without a trace. But now he wasn't a match. Trying to fight me only meant certain defeat, deepening his wrath. Get down. Beat him to a pulp. Old man Chen screamed in pain and fury. Only then did I realize there were thugs in the car. 3 men got out, each over 6.5 feet tall, dressed in black suits, carrying electric batons. Kill him. Quickly. Kill him, he roared, clutching his swollen face. Too bad, it only took me 8 minutes to take them all down, smashing them through the car window glass. They'd be bedridden for at least 3 months. Old man Chen was left speechless. He wanted to kill me but couldn't win. Drive. Go. Now. Old man Chen shouted anxiously, slapping the driver. The driver snapped awake, slammed on the gas, and the car sped away, no one paying me any mind inside. You brat, just wait. There's always someone stronger. You think you're tough? I'll find someone tougher to deal with you. Old man Chen shouted his final threat, finger jabbing at me. He sure refuses to admit defeat. Fine, I'll enjoy turning his world upside down. After old man Chen left, I grabbed a cab back to the old house and started pondering my next move against him. I checked on Qingzi inside. She was okay physically but her eyes were hopeless, as if she had given up fighting. Just moments ago, I almost rescued her, but the police missed her. That kind of despair, knowing hope is just out of reach, is unbearable. I told Lin Ni to feed her, but she refused, as if starving herself to threaten me. I hate being threatened. Fine, let her starve for 3 days and nights. I don't believe she can really endure it. Suddenly, the nine-tailed fox spoke up, the tension rising with every passing moment. We had to end this quickly. Especially since the 3 sisters now knew about the old house. We couldn't afford to leak the location to too many people, or else trouble would grow. It looked like the police appearance had made the nine-tailed fox nervous. But with me and old man Chen at each other's throats like this, how could we wrap this up fast? That guy's tough to deal with. Looks like I'll have to go all out. The nine-tailed fox's worries were justified. The situation was spiraling out of control. Once the location of the old house was exposed, trouble would come in droves. Old man Chen, frustrated and unwilling to accept defeat, would definitely come looking for revenge. This had to be a swift battle. Neither the old house nor I could attract any more attention. That was the nine-tailed fox master's command. A meticulous plan was forming in my mind. To deal with old man Chen, I had to crush his spirit as well as his body, with ruthless methods. I did a reading, a sly smile curling at my lips. This bastard still wants to mess with me? Then I'll use his own momentum to flip the tables. This time, he'd suffer worse than death and pay up obediently. Night had fallen, and a demon wind blew fiercely, causing the doors and windows to rattle loudly. Shadows seemed to lurk all around the old house, yet when I looked outside, nothing was in sight. Occasionally, the plaintive cries of a cat pierced the air, eerily resembling the wail of a newborn. Seiko seemed to sense the strange atmosphere, letting out soft whimpers, but I had already muffled her mouth, preventing her from making sounds that might aid her. Even Lin Ni noticed the danger. She hurried back into her room, pulled the covers over her head, and trembled with fear, fully aware that peril surrounded the old house. Old Master Chen had warned that stronger foes would come to kill me, but I was well prepared. Everything was under control. "Can you handle it?" In the darkness of the room, the nine-tailed fox asked calmly. I nodded. "I can." Though the enemy was formidable, they were still within my control. There was no need for my master to intervene. "Good." The nine-tailed fox replied softly before dissipating into a wisp of blue smoke. It seemed she wouldn't help recklessly unless I asked for it. Closing my eyes, I tried to sense the energy outside. The demonic aura was turbulent, mixed with a chilling presence, ghostly energy riding the demon wind. Suddenly, a harsh bell rang outside. Then a voice called out, "Fresh tofu pudding. Hot tofu pudding. Want a bowl?" I sneered and opened the door. An elderly woman stood outside, pushing a small cart like a street vendor, calling out for customers to buy her tofu pudding. She smiled when she saw me. "Young man, want a bowl of tofu pudding?" The old granny's getting on in years. "It's late at night, won't you help an old woman out?" The dim yellow light fell upon her thin, withered face, giving her a kindly appearance, but she reminded me of a cunning weasel with a sharp snout and fine fur that sent chills down my spine. "Humph, pulling this kind of trick in front of my door? Quite the performance." "Sure, one bowl." I didn't refuse and handed over some cash. I knew she wasn't ordinary, this was just an elaborate act. Who sells tofu pudding at this hour in such a remote place? The old woman served me a steaming bowl, releasing a wisp of hot vapor. I glanced at it briefly, feeling a sudden itch in my throat. I thought to myself, this wasn't tofu pudding at all. It was human brain. What, not eating it? The old woman's smile seemed kind, but when she showed her teeth, they were unnaturally white with a red glow shining through. The demon wind surged suddenly, stinging my skin, and countless shadowy figures seemed to appear behind me, cold dread washing over me. But when I turned around, there was nothing. Laughter echoed softly, but listening closely, it sounded more like the wind. "All right." Gritting my teeth, I lifted the bowl and covered it with my hand without drinking. When the old woman went to get the payment, I quickly poured the contents out. On the ground lay a grotesque human brain mixed with dirt, truly horrifying. "Here's another bowl to nourish your body." The old woman smiled brightly and ladled out another bowl. I didn't refuse, I nodded, secretly hiding a half-yellow talisman and some money in my palm. When she took the cash, her fingers brushed against the talisman. Sparks flew, and an electric shock forced her to stagger back. The skin on her arm cracked open, revealing a claw covered in thick fur. "You little brat, how dare you trick me?" The old woman emitted a half-beast roar as her skin smoked and rotted away, revealing the hideous face of a weasel. She was a yellow-skinned wild immortal, a powerful demon capable of speech. No wonder the demon wind was so fierce. Alert and defensive, she was caught off guard by my hidden talisman, enabling me to reveal her true form. "You're playing me? I don't abide by any so-called morality." I sneered. Her human form twisted, the head of a weasel. The small cart full of tofu pudding was actually human brains, the soup mixed with blood and crawling maggots, a nauseating stench. Anyone foolish enough to eat it would surely die. "I'm going to eat you," the weasel glared angrily and lunged at me. I took a few steps back, brandished the talisman, and chanted the banishing spell. A thunderous strike slammed into her demonic body. Boom! With a loud explosion, she burst into a plume of white smoke and vanished, the cart disappearing along with her. The illusion had been nearly real. As the smoke cleared, a demon in Taoist robes appeared before me. He held a whisk broom, radiating an immortal aura, but his head was that of a weasel, his body human, shockingly grotesque. "How dare you? You don't kneel before the great Huang Taoist," he bellowed, waving the whisk broom with fierce energy. This demon was playing tricks, faking being a celestial being? Ha, I wasn't buying any of it. I paid him little mind. After all, a yellow-skinned wild immortal wouldn't just show up at the old house's doorstep by accident, someone was definitely behind this. But who? "You bastard. Ignoring me like that, you're asking for death. I'll send you to the 18 levels of hell, never to be reborn." The self-proclaimed great Huang Taoist kept shouting angrily. I hurriedly pretended to be frightened, feigning repentance. Yes, great Huang Taoist. Sorry, I didn't realize earlier, it was all my blindness. In truth, I was covertly searching for the mastermind manipulating this great Huang Taoist to harm me. Humph, you're sensible after all. Otherwise, you'd already be in the 18 levels of hell, he sneered arrogantly, like a real god. I continued to appease him. I apologize, Great Huang Taoist. May I know what your instructions are on this visit? Old Master Huang shouted at me angrily, pointing his finger. You've got some nerve, daring to offend Lord Chen. Do you even know who he is? He's the very incarnation of Venus descending to Earth. I order you to kneel immediately and apologize to him, or else. Before he could finish, I suddenly charged forward, holding a talisman in each hand. When a drop of blood fell onto them, the talismans emitted a golden glow. With a sharp crack, his head fell off on impact, the yellow talisman smoke curling black. Old Master Huang was instantly killed by me. Those talisman arts were like double-edged swords, silently and invisibly severing evil spirits. The mist surrounding him dispersed, revealing the truth instantly. There was no Old Master Huang at all, just a standing yellow weasel pretending to be him. Its head had already been severed by me. It died instantly at the scene. Yellow weasels are naturally sly and cunning. Northern folk call them wild spirits. Just a glance is enough to curse you, and they hold grudges fiercely. Messing with one is never easy. But in front of me, this so-called great yellow weasel immortal was utterly weak, nothing but a facade. Humph, Venus descending to Earth? More believable if you said Lord Chen is your dad, I scoffed, turning my gaze to a shadow flickering in the dark corner of the wall, like a monkey. Finally found you, come out. I shouted. Sure enough, he was controlling the Old Master Huang. I had found the right spot and cut down the demon cat. What appeared as a monster's mischief was actually human interference. No doubt, this was definitely sent by Lord Chen, specifically to kill me. But this time, there wasn't just one. There was another hiding deeper, one controlling the beasts, the other commanding ghosts. Lord Chen was really betting big this time. The shadow hopping around finally revealed itself. It looked like a monkey, with a pointed face and monkey-like features, covered densely with fur. Small and short, it looked strange, almost primitive, but it was definitely human. Who are you? I frowned. Looking like that, did you two grow up with the monkeys on Mount May or what? It doesn't matter who I am. The two of us are here by Lord Chen's orders to take your life. Be smart and die quickly, we'll make it painless for you, the man sneered. I mocked. How much did Lord Chen pay you to come die? As expected, there were two of them, he said, the two of us, and someone else was still hidden in the shadows, surrounded by flickering ghostly figures but not yet revealed. Money? We don't care about money. Kill you, and Lord Chen will marry his flawless daughter Ling to us. Understand the favor we're doing you? Be clever and go die quickly. The man laughed coldly. He was determined to take my life tonight. Hearing that, I was stunned. Lord Chen was willing to give his daughter Ling to two men just to kill me? That worldview was utterly insane. Was he even human? At first, I thought I misheard. Even if Lord Chen didn't mind how ugly the guy was, it would be somewhat plausible if he said he'd marry Ling to the one who killed me. After all, Lord Chen was capable of anything. But this guy said, the two of us, meaning Lord Chen actually wanted to marry Ling off to both of them. Marry you too? One wife for two husbands? Did I hear that right? I frowned, questioning. The man laughed loudly. You heard right. We share everything as brothers, women included. The Chen family's eldest miss is so fair and beautiful, how could we not share her? Once we kill you, we'll have plenty of fun with her. Hearing that, I almost felt tempted to join them as brothers myself. The world really is vast, there are all kinds of freaks. Lord Chen was genuinely desperate, willing to pay any price to kill me. Maybe there was another reason. He feared I'd go after Ling, so he gave her to others instead, preferring death over letting me have her. Suddenly, a voice came through the air, faintly. Big brother, there are two women hidden in this guy's room, both pretty. Heh, then hurry up and kill him so we can take them, the man sneered lecherously. These newcomers were clearly not upright characters. Those Lord Chen had sent before were cunning but at least had boundaries. These two crossed into the sinister. Kill me? Go ahead and try. I glared around and snapped my fingers, instantly activating my yin-yang sight. Ghostly figures filled the space before me, chilling wind swirling. Clearly, there were many vengeful spirits here. One controlled beasts, the other wasn't any weaker, having summoned countless ghosts to this place. I was stunned. The sheer number of ghosts was overwhelming, like 100 evil spirits besieging a residence. They densely covered the ceiling, walls, and backyard. Some crawled like Sadako, others hung upside down from the roof. Some were headless or missing limbs, some held crying babies with eerie smiles, others bearing fangs and claws, drooling as they stared at me. They were ferocious and pale, eyes greedy as if wanting to devour me. The scene turned what should have been a quiet courtyard into a chaotic nightmare. My heart thudded. These spirits were too powerful. I really should have asked my nine-tailed fox master for help. This kid even opened his yin-yang sight, got some skills. A fat man resembling a pig suddenly jumped out from the ghostly horde. He was human, able to remain hidden within the ghosts, clearly powerful. The fat guy weighed over 300 pounds, looking like a huge sandbag. His ears were as big as palm fans, with a pig-like nose, hideously ugly. The two brothers, one resembling a monkey, the other a pig. If Ling were to marry them, she probably wouldn't last 3 days before being abused to death. Speaking of which, such a fat man would naturally have a rather small package. Judging by their looks and magical skills, I guess they're true identities. According to my second uncle, 20 years ago there was a mad Taoist known as the evil-browed Taoist. He wasn't originally insane, he was driven mad because his wife cheated on him. Back in ancient times, Taoist priests were supposed to live with purity and without desire, so they couldn't marry. But things are different in modern times. Evil-browed Taoist actually had a wife. However, his wife was unfaithful and frequently had affairs with his disciples. The evil-browed Taoist cast spells turning those disciples into pigs, then killed them together with his wife every morning. Yet, the wife remained unaware. But her affairs didn't stop, she kept cheating with other disciples. By the third time, the evil-browed Taoist reached his breaking point. He murdered his wife and all the disciples, buried them in his courtyard, and planted peach trees over their graves to suppress their spirits, fearing revenge. 7 days later, in the middle of the night, he heard a baby crying. He thought it was his wife's spirit haunting him, but with the peach trees uprooting that shouldn't have happened. Curious, he dug up the grave only to see 2 pairs of hands stretching out from her belly, with the crying coming from inside. It turned out that before her death, his wife had been pregnant with twins. Their bodies didn't rot but stayed alive. These were inborn children. Inborn children have tough life forces and possess yin-yang eyes. They exist between life and death, saturated with yin energy, making them prone to attracting ghosts. The evil-browed Taoist started regretting his actions. Had he known his wife was pregnant, he never would have been so ruthless. He carefully carved open his wife's belly with a knife and took out the 2 children. The kids were healthy but oddly shaped, one chubby, pig-like with big ears and a pig nose, the other small and thin, resembling a monkey with lots of hair. This is why I suddenly recognized them. My uncle once said the evil-browed Taoist's twins looked exactly like that, describing them in detail. At the time, I didn't believe it, thought it was just a legend. Who could look like that? And from a dead woman's womb, too absurd. Seeing them now, I believed it. There really are people who look like pigs and monkeys. My uncle speculated that perhaps evil-browed Taoist's wife had affairs with many men, with the twins having different fathers, resulting in their strange appearance. Another theory is that the Taoist had gone mad and those kids were just kids he took from elsewhere. The real children had died in the womb. The evil-browed Taoist happily treated these kids as his own and taught them Taoist magic. But having gone down a dark path, he taught them sinister arts. The twins inherited their mother's lustful nature and became even more vicious. People nicknamed them the Yin-Evil Twins. One specialized in demonry, the other in ghost magic. Growing up, they earned a notorious reputation in both the Yin and Yang worlds. They did favors for people but only accepted gifts from women, and the women had to be beautiful. Their methods were ruthless, many sought their revenge karma, and some women even sacrificed themselves willingly. But strangely, none of the women who left with them ever reappeared, they simply vanished, likely dead. These 2 brothers weren't like normal people. Any woman who followed them was doomed. If Ling really went with them, she'd have a grim fate, not just suffering but certain death at their hands. They were cruel to the core. I couldn't understand how old Master Chen found them, turning his daughter into a sacrifice to kill me. What kind of father does that? You 2 are the Yin-Evil Twins? I looked at them again, sickened. I'd rather see ghosts than face them. Hey, big brother, he recognizes us now, said the monkey-faced one excitedly. Getting acknowledged meant they were famous. The pig-faced one snorted coldly, sneering, so what if you know us? Your death day is coming, no amount of flattery can save you. Prepare to die. He waved his hand, a dark aura rising. Instantly, he crushed a talisman, summoning a horde of ghosts to tear me apart and feast on my flesh. Their power far exceeded that of ordinary ghost summoners. Hundreds of ghosts gathered, turning me into their prey. The chilling wind formed a wall, encircling me from all sides. I had nowhere to run. Facing hundreds of ghosts, I stood no chance. Ah, I screamed in agony, my wails echoing through the air as the ghost horde engulfed me, gnawing at my flesh. The 2 brothers laughed with disgusting relish, declaring their victory. The old house was surrounded by dense shadows, vengeful spirits howling like starving wolves, instantly swallowing me whole. My figure vanished within the ghost swarm. Even if you're somewhat talented, you don't compare to us brothers, the pig-faced one sneered. You'll surely die by midnight, don't hope to survive till dawn. Accept your fate. You brought this on yourself by offending the wrong people. Mistaking that I'd already been eaten to the bone without a trace. The monkey-faced one nodded, exactly. No one of our age is a match for us. Dad said, apart from the Su family, the Yin and Yang worlds are easy pickings. Pighead said excitedly, come on, once these ghosts have gnawed the bones clean, we'll go claim the reward. Beautiful lady, here we come. The two of them rubbed their hands together like a couple of villains and left. They thought I was dead and would naturally go to find Ling first. That was their deal with old man Chen. They didn't expect I was still alive, wearing that burial gown, hiding among the ghosts. The old lady's burial gown could fool any ghost or monster into thinking I was dead. I cut my hand, letting blood drip onto the ground. Hungry evil spirits scrambled crazily at the bloodstains, gnawing at them. Taking advantage of the chaos, I put on the burial gown and blended in. The evil spirits, attracted by the blood, squeezed tightly together, completely unaware I had slipped in. Pighead and Monkeyhead were sure I was dead, never suspecting I'd hidden my living essence beneath the gown. These ghosts were different from the rogue cemetery ghosts, who feared my Qilin birthmark. But these ones were controlled by Pighead, they feared nothing. I couldn't reveal my birthmark. If my identity was exposed, disaster would be unavoidable. My uncle and master repeatedly warned me never to show I was the Qilin child. Thankfully, the burial gown worked. Not a single ghost suspected a thing, and I successfully hid among them, preparing to escape. If not for this burial gown, with so many vicious ghosts around, I might not have survived the bloodbath. I quickened my pace, silently following the two brothers. They rubbed their hands excitedly, their minds full of Ling's fairy-like image, utterly ignoring me. After walking 6 or 7 kilometers, they stopped beside a luxury car. Inside were old man Chen and Ling. Ling's face was pale. When she saw the two brothers return, her face drained of color, nearly breaking down in tears. Their return meant I was dead, and Ling was doomed to be taken away. Pighead waved his arms excitedly, saying, Old man Chen, that kid was killed by me and my brother. He then looked at Ling, a lewd grin spreading across his face. Old man Chen asked, Are you sure? Pighead nodded, definitely. No one escapes alive from us. He's already a sacrifice to the ghost pack, not a trace left of his bones. Old man Chen laughed, that brat dared to mess with the Chen family. He'll regret dying. Monkeyhead stepped forward, Old man, there's a woman inside too, right? Why not reward us with her? They were eyeing the two women in my room, Lin Ni and Xingzi, both stunningly beautiful like fairy goddesses, but old man Chen shook his head. He said, that woman isn't given away so easily. She was brought in by the Chen family. Though rejected, the two brothers didn't get angry. Their gazes shifted to Ling, as if wanting an even bigger reward. Old man Chen gestured for Ling to get out of the car. To him, his daughter was merely another bargaining chip. I had shamed the Chen family, they were determined to kill me, even if it meant sacrificing their own daughter. Ling was terrified, facing the two ugly men, eyes full of fear. She begged desperately, Dad, I don't want to go with them. Please don't do this to me. Old man Chen sighed in feigned sympathy, Daughter, I have no choice. They want you, not me. If our family had the power, we could find them 10 women easily. I'm very reluctant to part with you, but the deal is sealed. I love you. Hearing that, I almost vomited but held back, afraid of being discovered. That old man Chen was disgusting, nothing but empty talk. He said he loved her, but he really only loved himself. After saying this, old man Chen pushed Ling out of the car without hesitation and ordered the driver to pick up Xingzi. He had a scheme. The brothers told him there were 2 women in my room. One was Xingzi, the other he thought was my woman, a pawn to get back at me. But he didn't know that Lin Ni was never my woman, just a gold-digging mistress. In fact, I anticipated all this. He would come to my old house, so I prepared a trap, planning to turn the tables. Old man Chen was crafty. Even if I pressed a knife to his neck and forced the steward to attack him that night, he wouldn't fully submit. He knew I wouldn't kill him because I still had to rely on him for money. But he was stubborn. To take him down, extreme measures and torment would be necessary. Old man Chen sped away in the car, completely ignoring Ling. He had won and was thoroughly satisfied. His daughter's sacrifice meant nothing to him. Ling chased after the car, crying out, then fell to the ground. The car quickly disappeared from her sight. Tears streamed down her face like an abandoned child, utterly desperate and helpless. She pounded the ground fiercely, but it was useless. She was just a bargaining chip. So long as old man Chen needed her, she had to sacrifice herself for the so-called Chen family. I smiled. That day she said, I'm a Chen family member. Whoever we face, we stand with the family. How ironic. You're a Chen family member? You're their pawn, a tool. Helping such a cold, selfish father, this ending was destined from the start. After old man Chen left, the two brothers grinned wickedly, like wolves eyeing the lamb Ling, ready to tear her apart. Don't come near me. I'm calling the police. Ling was terrified and hurriedly fumbled for her phone. But just as she pulled it out, her hand was stepped on, shattering the phone and causing her pain. Ah, it hurts so much. She struggled, but a man weighing over 200 or 300 pounds was impossible to break free from. Pighead grinned with satisfaction. Miss Chen's voice is really sweet. He. Monkeyhead glanced around to make sure no one was nearby, then said excitedly, right here. Their vibe was full of perversion. Pighead sneered lecherously, being with Miss Chen here is such a thrill. Ling shouted, don't touch me. Just kill me, I beg you. She was being pressed down by the foot, agony overwhelming her, utterly defenseless like a lamb being slaughtered. I could play with these legs for 3 years and never get tired. No wonder she's Miss Chen, Pighead said with excitement. Suddenly, Ling bit Pighead. He screamed in pain and loosened his foot. She stumbled to her feet, trying to escape, but didn't get far before Monkeyhead roughly grabbed her hair and yanked her back. Ling screamed miserably and fought desperately, but it was all useless. Pighead rushed over and slapped her hard, leaving 5 fingers imprinted on her soft face. Blood trickled from the corner of her mouth as she collapsed sobbing on the ground, utterly hopeless. You disgusting woman, showing no decency, how dare you bite me? Pighead shouted angrily, slapping and cursing her. No one treated Ling like a person, only as a plaything. Forget being a Miss Chen, they didn't care. Ling stopped speaking, lying on the ground and crying. She couldn't escape. Getting beaten like this, she understood this was her fate. Her eyes held unwillingness, but her father had betrayed her, and no one came when she cried out. She'd rather be an orphan than have such a father. Right now, she felt like meat on a chopping block, at their mercy. You disgusting woman, I'm going to make you behave, Pighead said, unbuckling his belt. Wow, what a nice body, he said, drooling. Ling didn't resist, her face expressionless as if dead. In the darkness, a cold glint cut through the stillness, illuminating Ling's despair. It was the gleam of a dagger, sharp and chilling, piercing Pighead's back and emerging through his chest, warm blood flowing as it passed through his body. Blood dripped onto Ling's skin. She shivered and turned her head to look at Pighead's back. She saw me, and a flicker of delight crossed her eyes, her despair slowly fading, her expression shifting. Although I was her enemy, my appearance at that moment gave her hope. Even if I killed her, it was better than letting them torment her alive. Big brother, Monkeyhead looked up, lips trembling. Seeing Pighead's injury, then me, while holding Ling in his arms, his expression changed completely. This guy's still alive? Impossible, impossible. Monkeyhead shouted in shock, disbelief written all over his face. A cold smile curled on my lips. The two of them were lost in their own worlds, unaware I was approaching. I deliberately let them take the first move to draw their attention. They never expected me to be alive, nor did they imagine I would launch a sneak attack now. Ugh, Pighead spat out a mouthful of blood, trembling all over. The dagger had pierced from his back through to his chest, blood steadily flowing. Well, brothers Ugly and Monkey, nice to see you again, I said with a cold laugh, smile laced with menace. I pulled out the dagger, blood splattering over Ling. Instead of fear, she looked excited at the gruesome scene. Clearly, she hated them deeply enough to want to eliminate them with her own hands, just like me. That's why she looked so thrilled. Pighead fell to the ground, pale and bleeding, but not dead. I deliberately avoided piercing his heart. Big brother, hold on. Monkeyhead supported Pighead, crying out. Don't cry, stay calm. I'm not dead yet. Figure out a way to deal with this guy, or we're both finished, Pighead said with unusual calmness, clutching his wound, teeth clenched, hands stained with blood. He didn't waste any blood but drew symbols on the ground. Got it, big brother. Monkeyhead wiped his tears, his expression steady, both locking eyes on me with renewed rage burning. I watched Pighead coldly, silently urging, hurry and use it. Sure enough, once Pighead finished drawing, he pulled a black jade seal from his pocket. Its edges carved with ghost heads, it emitted a sinister aura. This was the ghost seal I had been waiting for. From the start, I suspected he had a ghost summoning artifact. Ghosts wouldn't lend their help for free. It came at a cost, at best shortening your lifespan, at worst costing your life. Summoning many would be suicidal. So Pighead must have a powerful artifact to call upon spirits. This ghost seal almost got me killed, I had to take it from him. I could have killed Pighead then and there but deliberately avoided his heart to force him to use the artifact and reveal its power just so I could witness it. Though seriously injured, the artifact still had immense power. I wasn't afraid. As the jade seal appeared, a cold wind rose and, joined with the blood curse, ghostly figures slowly materialized. I thought I heard a door creak open, but there was none. The spirits crept out of cracks in the walls, eerie and unpredictable. Had the gates to the underworld truly been opened? Yet the number of ghosts was small, far less than before. They were apparently weakened by the injuries. Netherworld curse, devouring. Activate. The pig-headed man chanted relentlessly, blood pouring non-stop, yet he grit his teeth and endured. He knew it was either kill me or die, there was no middle ground, only an all-out fight could save him. Ghostly shadows gradually multiplied, numbering just over a dozen, swirling around me like phantoms, bearing fangs and claws, their eyes cold and watchful. The monkey-headed man didn't stay idle either. He pulled out a bottle of blood and drained it in one gulp. After drinking, his face twisted grotesquely, veins bulged, eyes turned blood-red, his tongue lengthened, and sharp fangs emerged, taking on a monstrous appearance. Demonic blood? These two had definitely taken a dark path. One summoned ghosts, the other drank demon blood, both with ruthless intent. The monkey-headed man's consumption of demon blood transformed him into something neither man nor beast, chilling to the bone. Roar, the monkey-headed man shouted and lunged at me. Like a snake flicking its tongue, he bit fiercely at my neck. My dagger was wrapped with a yellow talisman, its tip dripping with fresh blood as I recited an exorcism chant. As he closed in, I plunged the blade into his chest. The monkey-headed man possessed incredible strength. He blocked the dagger with one hand, while grabbing my neck with the other, lifting me off the ground. I was shocked to see his arms covered in snake scales, each scale embedded like armor. Though my dagger touched them and smoke swirled, it couldn't penetrate a profoundly sinister defense. Apparently, this guy was exuding demonic energy. I'd heard some Taoists practice demonic arts. Though dark sorcery, it could prolong life and enhance strength, but with the side effect of losing humanity, crossing into madness and even attacking others. Had this guy truly embraced the demonic path? His grip on my neck tightened relentlessly, eyes bloodshot, veins bulging, refusing to let me die easily. His snake-like arms glowed faintly with turquoise light, determined to crush my throat. Killing me wouldn't be so easy. I flicked a Qing dynasty coin between my fingers, a renowned talisman for slaying demons and driving away evil. When soaked in human blood's yang energy, it became even stronger. Seizing his moment of distraction, I slammed the coin onto his forehead with a sharp crack. He was thrown back violently, a hole the size of the coin burst open on his forehead, blood flowing freely. The coin smoked and darkened, successful in exorcising the evil. I pressed my knee into his chest. He struggled for a few seconds before I drove my dagger into his shoulder, blood spurting. The yellow talisman sizzled fiercely, reacting violently to the demon blood coursing through him. Screaming in agony, his vitality rapidly faded, his gaze clearing, but the dagger's wound still tortured him. I withdrew the blade and stabbed again, causing spasms that left him completely immobilized, his blood soaking his clothes. "You bastard, let my brother go." The pig-headed man, the weak, remained loyal, brotherly bond running deep. At that moment, a dozen or so ghosts drifted out, but they looked feeble, like wandering lost souls, putting on a show, pale as chalk, hair disheveled, far weaker than the fierce spirits from earlier. Damn, too badly hurt, not enough power. These ghosts should be enough to handle you, right? The pig-headed man coughed up blood, face pale as death, gripping a ghost seal glowing with a greenish aura, radiating sinister energy. The ghost seal was powerful, but the pig-headed man was severely wounded, unable to muster much strength, and the summoned ghosts were too weak to turn the tide. I sneered, pulling out a small Bagua mirror. Using it alongside the yellow talismans and incantations, I instantly tore through the feeble spirits. The laws of heaven and earth are boundless. The yin-yang Bagua mirrors my form. 100 ghosts cannot trap me. These wandering souls are insignificant. Those who dare approach are immediately turned to ash. From the moment I launched my ambush, the outcome was sealed. How could a heavily wounded man resist me? Phut, the pig-headed man spat blood, collapsing to the ground, no longer rising. They'd lost because of overconfidence. Had they really believed I was dead, things might have turned out differently. The two brothers, injured and powerless, had become lambs for slaughter. "Brother, spare our lives. One day, we'll repay you," the pig-headed man begged, stripped of pride, like a lost dog. I said nothing, only staring at the ghost seal and Chen Ling in his hands. The seal's green glow intensified, flickering like ghost flames, malicious and evil. Sensing my intent, the pig-headed man held out the seal. "Brother, this is a powerful artifact, take it. The woman is yours, too." He clearly knew his only way out was to flatter me. Without sucking up, death was certain. I took the ghost seal and sliced my blade across his throat. Blood spurted violently. He clutched the wound in agony but was beyond saving, soon breathing his last. I wiped the blood off my dagger with a cold snort. If I'm killing you, these things belong to me, I don't need you to give them. He had a sinister Taoist father with a cursed eyebrow. If he lived and returned to avenge them, it would be a nightmare. Letting them live now would be letting a tiger back into the mountains. They wouldn't let go of the ghost seal. Once healed, they'd surely come for revenge. Killing them eliminated the threat, most worth it. No mercy when dealing with those who sought my death. One brother dead, the other couldn't escape either. I slashed his throat with the same dagger, sending him to the netherworld to reunite with his brother, a companion for his afterlife, with a warning for the next life. Ling watched, eyes not with fear but admiration, like a girl meeting her idol. This puzzled me. Amid the bloodshed, she should be scared, yet she looked reverent. Strong, ruthless, fearless, that's a true man. I have good taste. You're someone destined for great things. Ling's eyes glazed over, her fondness for me growing, having already forgotten I was her enemy. Wake up. You're next. I snapped coldly, dragging her back to reality, dragging the dagger across her cheek. She was unafraid, raising her head and blinking at me. To die by your hand leaves no regrets, but don't let me die disgracefully. She closed her eyes, her expression serene as she calmly faced death. Indeed, dying by my hand was far better than being tormented by those two brothers. She knew she should be grateful. Who said I'm killing you? I pulled back my dagger. Ling looked at me, puzzled, not understanding why I said that. They were all dead. As the sole witness, wasn't she doomed? Plus, she was a member of the Chen family. No matter what, I shouldn't have let her go, right? I sneered coldly. Tonight, the old Master Chen's actions had completely shattered her heart. I wouldn't kill her. Why? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. She would support me. I'd killed, stolen the ghost seal, taken a woman. This battle was fully mine. My methods were ruthless, but I didn't care. The losers are the victims. The cost was too high and troublesome. But it wasn't over. Old Master Chen was my ultimate target. I guessed he was already at my doorstep. The nine-tailed fox was in the ancient house but wouldn't intervene. If she couldn't handle old Master Chen, how disappointed would she be? Everything she taught me would have been for nothing. But no rush. Even if I'm not around and the nine-tailed fox stays out, old Master Chen wouldn't necessarily get the upper hand entering the house. I had already set up formations. Once he stepped in, it'd be like stepping into a labyrinth, no way out. I was letting him walk right into my trap. Everything went according to my plan. My divination skills were improving, and I'd mastered all 64 hexagrams of the heavenly strategy. Once old Master Chen entered, he'd be caught in my array. I had time to slowly go back and enjoy toying with him. I didn't touch Ling but sent her home and told her to call a cab. This wasn't the time. I still had old Master Chen to deal with. Ling looked at me in confusion, not understanding why I didn't go after her. If I wanted her, she'd definitely be willing. Compared to those two ugly freaks earlier, I was much better to her, and she had feelings for me. That feeling wasn't sudden. When she confronted the steward, she started falling for me. Only later, when I became an enemy of the Chen family, did she reluctantly take sides. But old Master Chen sold her out. She was heartbroken and then saved by me. The flame of love was rekindled. Ling liked strong, capable men who could achieve greatness. Unfortunately, tonight she didn't become my woman. She waved goodbye and softly said before leaving, "Su Yang, even if you kill him, I won't hate you." I knew him was old Master Chen. Ling didn't even bother to say father, which showed how much she hated him. Her own father sold her to two ugly men. How could she not hate him? He wasn't a father anymore but a merchant trading her as if she were merchandise. In old Master Chen's heart, his three daughters didn't even deserve to be called human. Ling left, and I returned to the ancient house. Old Master Chen awaited his reckoning. If he didn't pay tonight, I would make him suffer horribly. I didn't rush inside but hid outside to observe. A luxury car was parked in the yard, definitely old Master Chen's. Sure enough, after he entered, he looked dazed, like a ghost trapped, endlessly circling back without escape. I'd set an 8 trigrams formation, the same array Zhuge Liang once used to block Lu Sun's 100,000-strong army. It was recorded in the heavenly strategy as well, but I added spells. Once enemies step in, they get trapped for life, unable to escape. The 8 trigrams formation, also known as the 9 palaces 8 trigrams formation, originated from Zhuge Liang, deeply mathematical. Once inside, it's like a labyrinth, endless loops with no way out. I set this formation long ago, especially for old Master Chen. He wasn't alone. He brought along a burly driver wielding a long knife. Qingzi had been rescued but was badly injured, barely clinging to life. Lin Ni was held hostage by the driver, knife pressed against her neck, likely mistaken for my woman and in for some special treatment from old Master Chen. Lin Ni trembled fearfully, terrified she'd be killed. By rights, old Master Chen should have left already, but he couldn't get out. Every time the door opened, he returned to the main hall, as if bewitched. Master, is this a haunted house? Why do we keep ending up back here? This is too eerie. The driver was frightened. Though the ancient house showed no abnormal signs, anxiety gripped him. Old Master Chen glared at him, silencing him instantly. He was scared too, but too foolish to realize he was scaring only himself. Damn that brat, he's dead and still causing me trouble. Old Master Chen slammed his fist on the table in anger. He knew I was a feng shui master and had laid formations inside the house. He'd been careless, thinking since I was dead, everything was fine, it was only a matter of time. Xingzi, you're a witch, do something, Old Master Chen begged. Xingzi staggered to her feet, looked around, shook her head. There's definitely a formation, but I don't understand it. I can't break it. Of course not. After all, she was from a foreign island and couldn't possibly break Zhuge Liang's 8 trigrams formation. Her skills were no match for mine. They all looked at Lin Ni, who flinched in fright. She quickly shook her head. I don't know how to get out. I'm just a servant. The driver didn't believe her, mumbling, servant? What servant has a figure like that? His eyes stayed glued to her curvy, attractive form. It didn't look like a typical servant at all. This is part 94 out of 144. Please process the following content according to your logic while preserving the original paragraph structure, line breaks, and overall layout. Return only the processed result. At that moment, Old Man Chen walked over and suddenly slapped Lin Ni hard several times, blood trickling from the corners of his mouth. Lin Ni was stunned, never expecting such a brutal attack. If you don't tell me, believe it or not, I'll kill you. Tell me how to get out, now. Old Man Chen snarled like a vicious wolf, his ferocity unmatched. Lin Ni collapsed to the ground, curling into a ball and shaking her head forcefully. It wasn't that she refused to speak, she truly didn't know. Usually free to come and go, tonight she felt trapped as if the house were cursed. Won't talk? Then let's see how I deal with you. Old Man Chen, furious, unbuckled his belt, threatening to punish her physically. For some women, maintaining purity means more than life itself. This move was even more effective than killing her. But Old Man Chen didn't anticipate that Lin Ni wasn't an ordinary woman. She had slept with more men than he probably had. She genuinely didn't know how to answer. Old Man Chen wasn't joking at all. In front of the driver and Xingzi, he threatened Lin Ni. This time, she didn't scream for help or resist. She seemed to find it easier not to fight back. The driver swallowed hard, watching Old Man Chen's actions, thinking to himself, with Lin Ni's figure, he wondered if Old Man Chen would leave him a bowl of soup after indulging. After all, Chen hated her, he wouldn't care. Xingzi turned her face away, unwilling to watch but also not stopping him. I'm giving you one last chance. Tell me, or else. I promise I won't trouble you if you just tell me how to get out, Old Man Chen urged again. I sneered coldly, this I knew best. If Old Man Chen walks out safely, he absolutely won't let Lin Ni off. He wasn't here to save Xingzi but to exact revenge. Lin Ni still shook her head. She honestly didn't know, not refusing to say, but literally couldn't get out herself. Fine, don't blame me for being ruthless, Old Man Chen said self-righteously, pretending to be a gentleman, but utterly vile. I witnessed everything but didn't intervene at the critical moment because the real show hadn't started. I wouldn't sacrifice Lin Ni, though flawed, this had nothing to do with her, and I wouldn't harm her. Like a beast, Old Man Chen tore Lin Ni's clothes. Pulling down her pants, he immediately began assaulting her, completely unlike a noble patriarch. He was old enough to be her father. Lin Ni didn't resist, terrified and powerless to escape. She couldn't fight back or struggle, she could only silently endure, as if her life had long since resigned itself to this fate. Suddenly, a thumb-sized insect with sharp teeth shot out from Lin Ni's pants and lightning-fast attacked Old Man Chen's groin. Old Man Chen didn't dodge, screaming in agony as the insect bit viciously, gnawing at his flesh. Help! Someone save me, he rolled on the ground in pain. The whole ordeal lasted less than 15 seconds. Lin Ni didn't even fully register what happened. No, it wasn't me, I didn't do anything, Lin Ni quickly defended herself. She really hadn't moved, it was me. This all traced back to earlier that day. In the yellow-covered book chronicling powerful figures, I discovered a man named Chongyan. He had the nickname King of Ghost Bugs, raising all sorts of sinister, eerie insects like spiders, scorpions, and centipedes, even yin-yang ghost bugs that could turn men into women and vice versa, extremely ruthless. At first, I didn't think much of it, just curious about his mysterious bugs. The book had a phone number, I hesitated but called. He initially scoffed, nearly hung up, until I mentioned my grandfather's name. Immediately, his demeanor shifted 180 degrees, respectful and attentive. He didn't reveal much about the yin-yang ghost bugs but recommended a poisonous insect called the shade eater. The shade eater exclusively bites men's vital parts, carrying venom that spreads through wounds, causing blood vessel rupture, skin ulcers, massive bleeding. It's extremely dangerous. This insect existed since ancient times but was extremely rare because assassins used it to silently poison men. During the Qing dynasty, Emperor Qianlong was almost killed by one, nearly castrated. Afterwards, he banned breeding shade eaters under penalty of death, nearly wiping them out. But some corners of the world, including Chongyan's family, secretly passed down breeding these insects. Old man Chen valued face and offspring above all. He had 3 daughters but desperately wanted a son. All attempts failed. To deal with him, the shade eater was perfect. I thanked Chongyan repeatedly. Without his alert, I would never have thought of this move. Chongyan was reliable. Without much talk, he immediately sent the insects to my home and taught me how to use them. It was simple. These bugs are particularly sensitive to men and attack instantly when given the chance. But normally, placed on skin, they don't bite or spread venom. Pretty amazing. This is segment 95 of 144. Please process the following content according to your logic. Keep the original paragraph structure, line breaks, and overall layout, and only return the processed result. I received a black box. Opening it, I immediately saw the devouring bug. It looked strange, somewhat like a praying mantis but smaller, without wings or antennae. It had a row of sharp, orderly teeth like a piranha's. Small as it was terrifying. I casted divination and had an idea. I quietly slipped the bug into Lin Ni's underwear. She was completely unaware. Just as Chongyan said, this bug doesn't harm people, it only targets men's vital parts. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called a devouring bug. Even the ghost insect king doesn't understand the principle, like how cats eat fish or cows eat grass. No one can explain it clearly. This game of chess wasn't played very deeply, but I had long set the trap, specifically targeting old Master Chen. Whether he sent people to kill me, came to the old house himself, or even laid hands on Lin Ni, I anticipated it all. I had to lure him into my trap. Otherwise, if he kept hiding behind the scenes and never showed his face, how could I take him down? Ah, help me, it hurts so much, old Master Chen screamed in agony, clutching that area and writhing, his hands drenched in blood. Chongyan had said the bug would keep biting, spreading venom, destroying the whole body. Help, how to help? Master, what should I do? The driver panicked, having only seen old Master Chen suddenly collapse, bewildered. What's biting me? Help me get it off. It hurts so bad. Old Master Chen cried, his face pale and drenched in sweat. He finally loosened his bloody grip to show the driver. A bug. Master, it really is a bug. The driver nervously spotted it. What are you standing there for? Hurry and get it off. I'm about to die. Old Master Chen gritted his teeth, pain causing his gums to bleed. Every man knows that kind of torment. I'll get it for you right now. The driver panicked and raised his knife. Don't mess around. Old Master Chen hurried to stop him. He knew that area was delicate. The driver wanted to bash the bug with the knife, afraid of being bitten by its venom, so he wouldn't grab it with his bare hands.